Welcome to another episode. Today's question, we are in this question answer session, and today's question is, how can I question my understanding of the world? How can I question my understanding of the world? We have to question everything, and asking the right question is important. The question is more important than the answer, because if you ask the right question, then you will get the right answer. Ask questions without any bias, without any preconceived ideas, without any motives. That is important. So let us elaborate. First, what J. Krishnamurti talks about questioning. Then we will see about Osho talks about questioning. So first we will see what J. Krishnamurti talks about questioning from his talks in 1962. To investigate, to inquire into all the questions that touch our lives: death, birth, marriage, sex, relationship. If there is, and if there is not something beyond the measure of the mind, what is virtue? That requires freedom to pull down, because it is only when you can destroy completely what you have built, held sacred, right, or virtuous, then you can find out what is truth. To find out what is truth, you'll have to bring down what you have built. That is what J. Krishnamurti says. Then only you can find out the truth. If you have that preconceived ideas, you won't find the truth. So we are going to inquire into everything, question everything, tear down the house that man has built through the centuries to find out what is truth. And that requires freedom, a mind capable of inquiring, a mind which is serious. I mean by seriousness, a quality of pursuing a thought to the very end. Questioning that is not afraid to face the consequences. So if you are really serious, J. Krishnamurti says by seriousness that you should be able to see it through. You should not be afraid of consequences. You should pursue the thought to the very end, where the thought stops. You should be capable of that. Then only you will find truth. Otherwise there is no inquiry. Otherwise, there is no investigation. We remain merely on the surface and play with words, with ideas. And if one has observed sufficiently the things that are happening, not only mechanically, technically, but also in our relationships between people, one observes that progress throughout the world. Progress throughout the world is denying freedom. So if you question everything, you understand that the progress has curtailed the freedom of people. When one observes the strength of the society in which the individual has completely ceased to be, the society exists, the controlled society exists, but the individuality is lost. One observes nationalities are dividing themselves more and more, especially in this unfortunate country. One will see that some deep revolt must come about. That requires a question of everything that man has built. Every attitude, every value, every tradition, every relationship. And we are going to do that. We are not going to leave one stone unturned. There is nothing holy, there is nothing sacred, and therefore to investigate you need a very sharp, clear, precise mind, not a mind befogged with ideas, with words, with sentiments. So you should have a clear, sharp, precise mind. That is what J. Krishnamurti says, because if you are already befogged with ideas and words, with sentiments, then it is of no use. You cannot think freely. If you are naming yourself as a Hindu or a Parsi or whatever, if that is your basis of your thought and action, from that if you begin to think, it is impossible to find out the truth. You are not going to be free. That's what J.Krishnamurti says. So the first essential necessity of inquiry is freedom, because then you can begin to question. There are two ways of questioning. One is to question with a motive and therefore find the answer to the question. The other is to question without a motive and therefore seek no answer. It is really important, because if you have a motive, you already know the answer and you will reach that answer. But if you ask a question with an open mind, then you will find out truth. If you follow what is being said to understand the difference between these two questions. Most of us do question, and our questioning is a reaction. I do not like something and I question it and reject it or modify it. Now the questioning is according to the urge or the demand of what I want. So because of what we want, because we don't like something, we question something that has a motive. You question that and reject it. So that is the kind of question we normally do. That has a motive behind it, and the questioning, that is a reaction. I do not like something and I revolt against it. That revolt is merely a response to something which I do not like. But there is a different questioning which is without a motive, which is not a reaction, which is to observe, to question the thing which is a fact. I do not like to take away any examples, because examples do not get us very far. Similes are dangerous things, but they might be somewhat helpful in order to explain the difference between two kinds of questioning. The questioning which seeks an answer, and the questioning that has no answer but is merely questioning. Now you can question it to find out what is happening, the truth of it, without a motive and therefore without defense, without attacking it, but merely questioning it sharply to find out. Or you can question it having accepted nationalism, which is accepting the division of people as castes, as classes, as groups. And when you question, there is a motive behind it, and your question does not reveal the truth of the matter. So in short, you should ask the right question, and you should not ask with a motive, because if you ask with a motive, that is merely a reaction, and it will lead you to the answer which you already believe. So it is of no use. To find out the right answer, to find out the truth, you should question without motive, so that you reach the truth, not your preconceived idea. So next we will see from Osho, Dancing in the Breeze, from the book Dancing in the Breeze by Osho, about questioning. He has different view of questioning and different way of telling the truth. Both are not contradictory, but a different way of seeing the things. He says, why do I ask so many questions? Foolish questions, because there is no wise question. Osho says all questions are foolish because there are no wise questions, and there cannot be, because a wise question exists not. He says a wise question does not exist. Questioning is foolish. I am not condemning it. I am not saying don't ask. But remember, the questioning mind is a confused mind. And out of the questioning, out of the confusion comes the question. Osho says, since you are confused, you have doubt and then you ask a question. So it comes out of a confused mind. Whatsoever answer is given, it will enter into the confused mind. Again, that answer will be distorted. The confused mind will start playing on it and will create many more questions out of it. It is a vicious spiral. No answer is going to help unless you understand that question in itself is futile. Unless the understanding grows deep, the questioning is meaningless. So unless you have the understanding, deep understanding, and you are mature, then your questioning is useful. Otherwise, you are asking from a confused mind. Whatever answer is given is going to be distorted, and you are not going to understand it. That is what Osho says. There is nobody to answer your question. Existence is there without any explanations, and it is absolutely silent. So he compares with the existence. Existence, nature exists as itself. It does not question anything. It exists in silence with its own actions. You go on asking, it does not respond. By and by, you will understand that questions are meaningless, that they disappear. The day the questions disappear is a great day. On that very day, the answer becomes available. The answer never comes through questioning. It comes when the questioning has disappeared. In fact, to say it comes is not right. When the question has disappeared, you suddenly find that you are the answer. Your very being is the answer. That is what you had been seeking and seeking for. All the questions are foolish. They have to be. And all the answers are lies. They have to be, because you cannot answer a foolish question with truth. There will be no meeting between them. You ask a question, the master goes on answering it in the hope that by and by your question will disappear. That is the difference between a master and a teacher. A teacher believes, he goes on differentiating between the teacher and the master. A teacher believes that if you can give an answer to your question, then you will become intelligent. But Osho says that such a kind of a teacher is a fool like you are. And the master knows there is no answer. But he goes on answering you, hoping that you will become silent. Your question will start disappearing. When you look deeper into yourself, when your understanding grows, then one day suddenly your question will disappear. You will look inside and you will not find any questions. The very moment you become the answer, you are the answer. So Osho says, when you look deeply into yourself, your questions disappear and you become silent. That is the answer. Meanwhile, continue to question. It is an unburdening process. Only by questioning, you will come to see that questions are futile. One has to say whatever it is. So ultimately, that is what the answer Osho gives. Go on questioning until you find that questioning is futile. Because you are the answer. You are the silence. That is the end of it. So with this, we'll end this session. You answered the question. Stay with me for another episode. Subscribe to my channel. Share this video. Thank you.